to TC 911 Beyond the Call podcast, episode 4. I am your host, Abbey Dudek, the communications coordinator at Tarrant County 911 District. And today I get the honor of chatting with 911 Communication Manager for the city of Crowley, Nikki.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. It's another day.
It is. It's going to be another scorcher. It's supposed to be 108 today.
That's okay. I'm inside.
That's good. Yeah. Air conditioning is your friend. Please be safe. These are obviously, we mentioned pre-recorded. So this is, in the July heat wave. But once this starts airing in August, we still could be there too.
We could be there.
This is Texas probably. It's probably going to happen. And it'll be
very easily
super spicy, as I call it, because spicy makes it even a little bit more fun, but you still remind yourself that it's really hot. So if you're like, oh, it's spicy outside. Oh, that's fun, but yet dangerous. So
yes.
We can't have that. So Nikki, always enjoy coming over here and chatting with you and everything. And now I'm excited that you get to talk to all of our lovely public and you can tell them, what you do and your role here at the police department with the 911 division. And your most recent staff change or promotion change, I guess, if you will.
I got a title change, so it's exciting. Thank you. I'm the support services manager. I've been with the police department almost, I think I'm at 14 years. I've lost count, 14 years now. The second time. I started here many, many years ago. But what I'm over is dispatch in 911, our communications center, and I now have a supervisor. So that's awesome, and she's doing a really good job leading our staff. But I'm also over property and evidence, crime scene, records, and victims assistance, and pretty much the civilian side of things.
Okay. Now, folks, a lot of the difference, too, is, you're going to be hearing from a lot of leadership in different 911 centers. Based on the agency size, also depends on what the managers or supervisors do. Crowley is a smaller agency, so Nikki just explained to what the different tasks. But is crime scene? Is she going out on calls? No. What do you mean, like reports and things like that?
So for crime scene, I can help with packaging, and I'm certified to do that, and I've been trained. But I actually have someone that is certified to do crime scene. So my job is to get them the resources they need, the logistics part, to make sure that they have all of the items that they need in order to do their job well. Can I help back up in certain areas? Yes. Do I need to be proficient? Sure. But we are a small city, but we're growing.
Small, but with big hearts.
Big hearts, but we're growing. We're expected to double our size within, I believe, less than 5 years. So we have a lot of growth, but right now we're just at about 20,000 people. I have 9 dispatchers, including the supervisor. So we're a small agency compared to larger agencies. And that's just because the way our center is set up fits the needs of the citizens, because we also have to be fiscally responsible, and that's part of my job now as a manager.
That's why I wear their hats.
Yes, I have to think about the money, and the thing is the citizens, they're the ones that pay our salaries. They do, and so we have to be responsible with that money and have to be accountable. And so one thing for us, since we're a smaller city, our jurisdiction or our city limits for police is smaller. I don't have one person just doing call taking, which is just somebody that answers 911, and then I have another person just talking on the radio. My amazing staff, they do it all. They answer the 911 call and they can talk to the officer all at the same time, which is confusing sometimes to callers because they don't realize we can do that, and they never know. They don't hear it because we wear headsets, and the technology allows us to do that. It works for our center.
You started off, now you said first time. You said when I first started Crowley, and then you must have exit stage right and then came back or something.
I did. I started and I worked here for about 2 years, and many moons ago.
In dispatch?
In dispatch.
Okay.
So I started as a dispatcher. Actually, it's funny, I got a ticket. And I didn't have my insurance card on me, and I didn't have my registration. I was going through a divorce.
Okay.
And
this was when you
when I very first started.
When you very first started. Okay.
Very first started, and it's so funny how I fell into it. I had a business with my then husband, and when you get a divorce, you can't quite work in the same place.
That makes it awkward.
Yeah, just slightly.
Just a tad.
I was taking the kids back from a softball game, and I got pulled over in Crowley. We lived here, and officer was very nice, and he was like, I understand, my husband had always handled all of registration, insurance. I didn't think about it. He said, just go show the court your insurance, and they'll take care of the ticket. So next morning I call in a panic, and the court clerk at the time, she said, by any chance, do you need a job? And I was like, why, yes, I do. And she said, well, you have a good voice. They're hiring dispatchers.
Now, I will put a disclaimer. This was quite some time ago.
22 years ago.
Things are not like that anymore.
No,
okay.
no.
So anybody listening, if you're just like, wow, they just recruit people if you get pulled. No. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there.
This is true. Things have changed, but yes, back then, and they only had at that time 3 people working, and they were working 12-hour shifts around the clock and with no days off. They were just so pressed for people. And I went in, and it was intense. The hiring process has changed, and we've evolved it, and I'm proud of how we have evolved ours. But I did start here, 20-something years ago, worked for a couple years, and then I decided, you know what, I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to go make more money, and I did. I went and I got on with CareFlight, which is not a primary answering point, which means we don't answer the 911s immediately. So when a caller calls 911, you get your primary answering point, or your local police department normally, or sheriff. Then we were more like secondary for medical only. And that was an amazing, I was there for 7 years, and it was an amazing opportunity to learn how to do logistics for helicopters and fixed wings all the way down to ambulances. So it was a completely different animal, I guess. But I missed this. So I came back. And I came back to where I started.
Great. Awesome.
And I came back as a dispatcher.
Okay. So you came back, and you're like, okay, here I am again. I'm coming back.
Coming back.
And then obviously that was still some time ago also.
Let's see. So we're looking at...
Math is fun.
No, it's just a long time. It's too early.
It's 10:13. It is. Maybe too early for math and trying to figure out time.
Well, and we don't have math tests, so
no,
it's
don't.
Okay.
No, we don't. So when you came back, how long was it? So you said you were doing records, and then you were backing up the dispatch center. Was there another crossover again where you became more on the dispatch side and still did records, where you're kind of leaning on more to become the official supervisor?
Yes. So as it turned out, I had enough managerial experience from my time between CareFlight and dispatch time that I went back into dispatch, and then I became the support services supervisor. And that was, I don't even remember it. Math is hard again still.
We're talking about years ago.
I've been doing it for so long, and I love what I do. Mm-hmm. So it's funny, when you love what you do,
that's not work.
It's not work. So I don't think of it in time, or I just don't think of it that way, because I love it. So, and then we've grown, and very, very grateful. We've got an amazing city council and city management, and they are putting the infrastructure in for our citizens for the growth that's coming, and they've done an amazing job at planning. And you've seen, I'm sure as you drove in, the economic development and the growth. It's amazing, isn't it?
It's, if y'all haven't been down to Crowley in a while, or you live here and stuff, you're going to be like, oh yeah, we know it's awesome. But if you haven't, it's such a cute, well, if you want to get away from like the fourth, I like small local shops. I like to support local and things. And I always forget, because every time I come down here, it's the changes in the years that I've been coming down here is just epic, And when I was driving here, because it's been a while since I've been down here, and I was like driving, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is all new. This road's new. These two roundabouts are new,
yeah,
and everything. And I was like, wow. But there's still that I love it because there's still that small town vibe with it. And I think that is the most precious thing that a city can hold on to, because there's a lot of people that like that, because Fort Worth is just going out everywhere. It's just sprawling out everywhere because it's huge. And I think people just want to, can I get some of that small town vibe? Because that'd be great, you know?
And we're nestled in between. We're just south of Fort Worth and just north of Burleson, and both are great cities. But we're unique and we're small. But I always say small but mighty. But this new Main Street project that they've done, and they've revamped it, has really given the city a new look.
It does.
But like you said, it's still the small town feel.
Yeah.
So you're close enough to, if you want to go to a movie theater, you can drive to it. But we still have that feeling of,
like little local restaurants and little flower shops, and like with the cakery and flower shop and stuff. Like, I love seeing like that. Shout out to that person. I know,
it's fun though. And we have little, restaurants that are amazing. They've won awards, in the county, best of this or best of that. And it's just this nice little hidden treasure that I'm sure soon we're going to have to share with the world. But
that's okay. You guys are going to have open arms and be like, come to our cute city of Crowley. That's wonderful. And, just kind of feeding off of the fact of being small, you guys only have one dispatcher that's on.
Right now, we're transitioning into two on at all times. We're trying to get there because we've grown. We've added a 911 line, and we've grown. So
you've added more 911 trunks. Yeah. Sorry. They've always had 911, but there's different. Just think of this way. If you're at home and you have one phone line going to your house, you add 6 or 7 more. That's kind of the same concept to try to get everybody to understand of what we're talking about by that kind of adding the line. So you've gotten more 911 lines, which is great.
We've had an influx, more people traveling on 1187, which is a well-traveled road. There's more calls that allows us to add staffing, and we're also trying to be staffed, trained, and ready for what's coming in the future.
And that's a great thing. And on that, it's always important to know that you guys are a plethora of information for resources. So, we always try to say, only call an emergency, especially how you guys are getting you got your 2 people, but it's not guaranteed 2 all the time, just right now. And so, please use the non-emergency number if it's not an emergency, or, follow. You guys have a great Facebook page and resources.
Between our Facebook page, the city's Facebook page, the website, we try to interact in different ways so people can get that information that they need, so they don't have to call 911. The non-emergency number is always there. Dispatchers are amazing at prioritizing and answering multiple and doing many things. However, it's a big help when we can go ahead and put the information out there and they can get it for themselves. Yeah. And it also makes it more convenient, I think, for the citizens, so they're not having to call. They can look it up and read for themselves.
Out in the public, I always tell people, I'm like, we understand that scared or something like that, and your first instinct, call 911, but if your power's out, are you, it's just like, unless something like an emergency situation's happening, because you can check your power, what the status is going to be on their website or whatnot. And you guys have even shared that of like, oh, here's the numbers to A, B, and C, and D electric company, because everybody's on different things, and to find out when that's on, when that turns back on. But it's also important to know if you keep those lines clear, you could be potentially saving someone's life. Because if I'm calling in with a heart attack and you're calling 911 because your neighbor cut down the tree that the judge says was your tree and blah, 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 that's a civil situation. Now my call's been delayed, or, maybe there's abundance of calls, and now I'm obviously having a bad day because I'm having a heart attack and I potentially could die from it. So I think if it's put in that realistic way, it sounds harsh, but that could happen.
Very much so. I mean, seconds count in a medical emergency, and a lot of times citizens, the first thing they ask is, why do you ask so many questions? Yeah. And they feel like it's a delaying a response. It's not. We have to ask these questions to get the correct, accurate information so we can make the best decision to send the best response. So we have to ask certain questions of every caller. You can't just ignore or judge it differently. You have to treat each call. You triage. You have to prioritize. When someone calls in, and while to them it's extremely important, like you said about maybe it's some civil issue with a neighbor, we still have to find out, okay, is it going on now? Is there violence now? Yeah. But if it's not, but that delays when somebody calls in and that phone is ringing for a heart attack, that's now.
Yeah. So we need to keep everyone just help Crowley Police Department out and help all police departments out by, only calling when there's an emergency or texting when there's an emergency, because, there's not an infinite number of phone lines. There's not an infinite number of dispatchers sitting on. All cities are different. And these wonderful men and women are doing the best that they can to help everyone. But there are answers to be discovered. And a lot of times, like I said, these cities are great, like Crowley, of putting it on their website, putting it on their Facebook. And you guys are very responsive to your messaging.
We try to be, yes.
Yeah, people can message the police department and get some answers, or there's even emails on the website. And everyone seems to be very, quick to be like, okay, let's get back with them. Let's get them some answers and stuff. And that's a great way to, communicate and get the resources that you need. And then as citizens, share them with your neighbors.
Absolutely. Customer service is number one with us. Mm-hmm. And we try to be very responsive, like to the social media interaction messaging, but it's not monitored 24/7.
Right.
So if it is emergency, if you need police immediately, call or text.
Well, this was more of resource.
But for resources,
yeah,
exactly. But for resources, absolutely, you can send any one of us an email and we're happy to help.
So don't send messages if you have a police issue or a 911 emergency or something. Like, don't do that over Facebook with any
agency,
any law enforcement agency, because they're not monitored 24/7. I mean, our page isn't monitored 24/7. I mean, I do my best, but I'll get and we're not even a police department or 911 center, and I'll get stuff that's like, I need an officer here and all sorts of stuff, and I'm just like, okay. But then I look at it and it happened overnight and it happened 4 hours ago. And then you're just like, oh, so don't count on anybody to do that. Just kick it old school and dial 911 if you have an emergency.
And if you can't dial, you can text.
Yeah, you can text it. So, but that's a lot of great ways that the citizens can also be a part of your family by helping out with resources like that. I love bringing all that camaraderie together and let's help each other out and keep those lines clear. So again, you guys have done an amazing job with outside in the city area and everything. So shout out to your city council.
Good job. I think they've done a great job.
You ever see my cartoon card? That's me, Abby, giving you a shout out. But, it's also great to see the growth potential that you have in your 911 communication center. So if someone was interested in working for Crowley 911, what's some of the great aspects of that division that you would share with them?
Well, one thing I personally meet with each one of my employees because I want to know who they are and what is it that they're interested in. What's their long-term goals? Because for me, 911 was not a job. It's my career. I love this. I'm passionate. I've been asked several times, when are you going to retire? When I'm ready. And I don't feel like I'm done doing what I need to do.
There's going to be, let me see, there's going to be Cher, Willie Nelson, and Nikki.
Probably. But I love what I do. Mm-hmm. I don't ever say I have to go to work. I say I get to go to work. Mm-hmm. So it's a mindset. Yeah. But if I talk with my employees and I know, hey, you're really interested in education, or if they like public speaking and they like education and that's great. There's that avenue. Maybe they want to become basic instructor, where they can go out into the community and teach other dispatchers. Mm-hmm. Maybe that they want to be a trainer. And so for us, that is another type of position where you're training the next dispatcher that comes in, which is 16 weeks. It's not, our training is not fast. It's not like what it was for me back in the day.
Here's your phone.
2 weeks, and it was good luck. Now it's 16 weeks, and you get training, and I want them to feel confident. They get their license, which is amazing that we are now licensed in the state of Texas. There's standards, there's accountability. So that's great. But also, if you're wanting management, is this something you want? Okay. And I tell people all the time when they say in an interview, well, I want your job. And I'm like, good. And they kind of freeze up, and I'm like, no, if you can do my job as well or better, good.
And
that means we're going to be even better as an agency. And if you can do it better than me, then you should have my job.
Because the passion's there.
Yes.
And then you also know in the back of your head too, it's like, hey, I'm going to leave it in good hands when I finally walk away when I'm 110.
Well, yeah. I might be wheeled out by then.
They just roll you out, put you in a wheelbarrow and put you out.
But I just know that if I can teach a lot of things, but I can't teach heart. And you have to have the heart to do this job. And it's a calling. I firmly believe that.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like you can't teach personality type of thing. You can teach people the skills and the do's and the don'ts and things like that. But it's a lot of it is up to the person to, find their passion, find what's going to work for them and whatnot. And training can be difficult on the level of, it's a very long period of education on learning this job, but you'll find your own groove. You'll find your own cruise control of how you're going to be, the dispatcher you're going to be. I mean, you need to listen to your trainer and do, get all the protocols and everything. But once you're released, make your own groove, make your own ways that work for you, and as long as you get the same result of getting officers there in a timely manner, prioritizing calls and all the other stuff that dispatch does, then it works. It's almost like I'm a math teacher and bring up math again. It's like she always said, she's like, as long as you get the answer, I don't care how you come up with the formula, just get the right answer. Now, not all math teachers said that they wanted you to do certain ways. And I was like, ugh. But it's the same principle, just get the help there. Everyone might have a different process, and that's okay because we all learn differently too.
We do.
So that's important to know.
You've got instructors and trainers that they have to learn that. And that is, believe it or not, a lot of people think, oh, it's just easy. No, that is a skill set to be able to switch from training. Do you listen? Are you somebody that has to do it? Are you visual? Yeah. Many people nowadays are a combination, and to transition in and out of those different types. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point. Like some people, like me, I was never a trainer when I was a dispatcher, just because I think for me, I was just like, I kind of like just doing my thing, and that's okay. But some people are like, I really want to help bring in the next generation. And some people make really great instructors and teachers and stuff when it comes to the 911 part of it. And what a great passion to have to be a trainer, because you're helping build the career up for someone else.
Yes. And that's where you can grow. Because, for example, I decided I wanted to teach. Okay. So I went, got certified, got my basic instructor. Next thing I know, I go to Tarrant County 911 and I teach.
Tarrant County 911, what? Over there. With those fun people? That's amazing.
And it's always fun. But it's a way I can give back. And I can go and give my time, do what I can do. But it's great to
Well, you bring your experience, too, with you. So you have all your stories, you have all your examples.
And that helps the new dispatchers coming in, because we all want, and none of them were like, I just got done teaching I think it was last week,
It was last week,
Was it last week?
Yeah.
And they were a great group of people. Not one of them was from my agency, but but I care about the industry. This is my career, and I want them to succeed wherever they go. I want them to love this as much as I love it. But I also want them prepared and ready to handle, because it's a changing fast changing sometimes.
Yeah, in the same hour of what type of call you're going to get.
Type of call, the technology is always changing, but I want them prepared to know that they can do this.
Oh, absolutely. And I firmly believe that, a lot of people could do this job with but a lot of it's on y'all's side of trainers and stuff like that, to show them that guidance, to show them that. Now, yeah, there are people like, I'm never going to be an astronaut, but there are some, I might be a space cadet, but there are sometimes like, it's like, if you really feel like you're a good fit and you feel like your heart, but maybe you learn a different way, it's important to be honest with the agency that you're applying for. Like, hey, I don't do very well with this or that. And, especially here, I would have no doubt that you guys would accommodate for anyone that was wanting to really do the job and like, okay, how can we make this work for them? And because we want to, I think in the industry, we want to welcome everyone who potentially, wants to be a 911 dispatcher, and to see if we can really get them in the industry. And there's so many different ways of learning, for people to understand what to do.
When we hire someone, we're asking them, and I always, at the end of an interview, or they call them oral boards, and that's even changed over the years, the hiring process. We've tried to make it less intimidating.
Oh, you mean with like 7 command staff and you're on the chair on the far and you're just by yourself, like, oh God.
I had that.
Like you're going to the principal's office or something?
Yes, and it was a round robin and one question and then another you'd answer, and then that answer would spark somebody else to ask you something.
You're not the only one that's changed that too. Some of the other cities are like, no, it's just me and like 2 other people or something, and we're kind of just all sitting on one end of the table, and there's no interrogation lights or
no interrogation lights, and I don't want it that way because that's not fair. I want this is a paramilitary, law enforcement is paramilitary, if you will. There is structure and there is order. And you're asking a civilian, someone that is not sworn, to come into, so it can be confusing. Mm-hmm. They have to learn that as well. I don't want to intimidate them. I want them to feel relaxed because I'm inviting them into my family. Yeah. So I want to get to know who you are, not who you want me or you think I want to know. I want to get to know you.
Yeah.
Just who you are. If you like, if I had one employee, she loved soccer. Great. Okay. Another loved Harry Potter. Whatever. That's things about you that make you who you are. Mm-hmm. And we're asking you to be a part of our family. Just like I ask them all the time, we asked you all these questions. Ask me anything you want.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think too. And I get it. I mean, I have to side with, the citizens too. I mean, you're going into a police department. Mm-hmm. They're doing background checks. They're putting you through the ringer, mm-hmm. But I can tell, I know a lot of people in this county get my job. And I see everyone, and I always tell people, oh, no, they are the sweetest people. It's fine. You're fine. Ask them questions. I always tell people, like, they're going to be more impressed if you start a conversation of questions than if you just are like, yes, ma'am. No, I don't do that. Yes, ma'am. Like, just like you said, no, don't say what you think you want to hear. Yeah. Just have a good conversation because, a lot of it is personality, because the personality will stand back on how you're going to handle things in the dispatch room when stuff gets really chaotic.
And also not every, like we talked about, dispatch centers are built differently. Right. But our dispatch center, we don't have a supervisor, if you will, on the floor in the room at all times. Mm-hmm. So we hold our people to this height, to a standard. We give them,
the ownership of the room, pretty much.
And the thing is, they know what to do. You're an adult. We treat you as such. I'm not going to micromanage you. I don't like that. We hired you because we believe in you to do the job. With that comes the responsibility of doing the right thing when no one's looking.
Oh, right. Integrity.
Bottom line.
Yeah, integrity. Yeah.
And that is huge for us. And so when we ask all these questions, and I know it can be nerve-wracking to do a personal history statement, and even though we don't ask what color socks you wore yesterday, we maybe should.
I have my taco socks on today because it's Tuesday.
See, you're so clever. You're fun.
I know, it's Taco Tuesday. And you know what? I'll be honest, if I was sitting in that interview, I would totally say that. Like, I have taco socks on today, and I'm really excited to tell you guys about that.
But see, that would tell me your personality and how you would probably deal with stress.
Yeah, I would try to find some laughter. Yeah.
And that's the thing. It tells me who you are because I have an incredible team. And so I want to bring someone in that is going to mesh with the team, but also elevate it.
Right. Who's going to be the, I was thinking of the Clifton strength. So who's going to be the woo in the room? I'm the woo.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, I'm the woo. And so that's a great way a different way of putting that. So hopefully that kind of, those that are listening kind of put some kind of thought process like, oh, I thought about applying, whether it's Crowley or other ones. I mean, I would keep that advice no matter where you go.
And if people are thinking about, should I apply? I don't know if I should. I don't know if I can do that. Try.
Yeah, even if it doesn't, maybe that might not be the best fit agency for you, but maybe you go to another one and that's a better fit. I mean, it's or you go there and maybe it's like, oh, maybe dispatch, maybe that's not for me, but they have this records position and I'm really good. I'm a record keeping fool. I love being organized and stuff like that. And maybe that might be a good fit because there's so many jobs within the cities that, within like even the police departments of things that you can do and that opportunity. And it even can be internal, where you might be in dispatch and then you're like, I'm going to hang out here until something in records opens or until something else, I really want to be the secretary to the chief. That's my goal. And you let them know that. And, you keep doing your thing and chiseling away. I mean, I know you can't kick people out, but
that's a good point. Because when I talk to people and if I find out like, in the past, I had an employee, she said, I'm really interested in forensics. And I'm like, aha, so crime scene. Okay. Well, when crime scene came open, I approached her because it gives career growth. It's one thing for a city to grow horizontally, but now it's my job to grow the positions vertically. You need to have a career path. No one wants to go in and do the same thing every day and not just grow in some way. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have a title. Some people don't want that, and that's okay.
Yeah, there's several dispatchers that are like, you know what? I love my job. I'm happy as a clam just sitting here and having just a title as dispatcher and helping the citizens and doing all that, and that's okay. Either way you look at it, you can either hang out and do your thing and keep being awesome, or you can continue to be awesome and then build like some maybe some hopes and dreams you had. Like, I really want to be this. I really want to do this. I want to get involved in crime scene. But you got to tell them.
And the thing is, if I have a great employee with an awesome attitude, because again, I can't teach heart, I can encourage and foster positivity because that's the environment that's my job, is to make sure that you have a good environment. And I'm proud of the environment that we have here. I preach it and scream it all the time. I can't compete with a lot of things because I am a smaller city, but I can tell you that you will become part of an amazing family.
Yeah, and that's really good to hear. And that's good to hear with any industry because whether it's 911, working at a grocery store, working at an insurance office, you want to, you can see like, if, oh, well, this is the money and it's all about that. But you know what? It's like, where are you going to call home? Because your job can be your second home also. You also want to make sure that, the camaraderie is great and, you like who you work with. And it's okay if you don't. I mean, some people just don't mesh well, and that's okay. That's we're human beings. We're all different, and that's all right. But, I love that you're, making sure that you say that, hey, we take a lot of pride in making sure that our morale is good and that we're a family and we take care of each other and we keep the positivity in the dispatch room.
Oh, it's very important. Yeah. And it's important for our mental health and for them. And I worry about them. So my job is to make sure, are they okay? Are they in a good environment? And then if they want to grow, why would I want to get rid of an amazing employee because I don't want to let them grow? That would be a failure on my part. So my job is, how can I elevate you? What is it you're interested in? And if I can't, then how can I help you get where you need to go? Because if you want to work for the FBI, for example, if that's your end goal, okay, that's not here. That's okay. How can I help you get where you're going? And that could even be through, because, our license requires 20 hours of education every year. Mm-hmm. We have to have 20 hours. Great. Well, let's look at putting those hours of education towards something that you want, that you're interested in doing. It's going to make you better at what you do, as long as it's within certain parameters, of classes. But if you're interested in becoming, let's say, a hostage negotiator one day, if I hear that, well, you're going to crisis intervention classes or those type of classes, tactical dispatching, things that where it's critical incidents, high pressure situations, you may find that, hey, you found another niche somewhere else in that, or you still want to proceed and go on. To me, it's about you have an amazing employee, invest in them and hold on to them. You just don't, they're names here, they're not numbers.
Yeah, that's really great. And I appreciate hearing that. That's always nice. And, everyone that's listening, you can always, if you're interested and you're kind of rolling around in your head of I think I might want to apply, or, you can always, Nikki, right? They could come up here and have a chat with you, or
absolutely,
talk with someone and be. Now, can they, as long as they do a quick little background thing, can they sit in dispatch?
The hard part for us,
or how does that work? I don't want to.
For our agency, because of the way it's situated, mm-hmm. we can't have sit-ins because our criminal justice information is always up.
Oh, okay.
And so because of that, unfortunately, we can't have sit-ins like larger agencies can. But I've had people call me and either want to meet with me in person or just talk to me on the phone and ask me about jobs, expectations, mm-hmm. and I give them resources. I give them even YouTube links. Go listen to these calls. This is what you need to be prepared for. Is this your everyday? No, but this could happen. I want people to be prepared for the worst, because then every day will be a dream.
Yeah. And, it's a good thing to say that too, is listen to these calls and stuff. Now, granted, there are some calls out there that are fake, that are on YouTube, horrible. And it's unfortunate. But I always tell people too, do you watch the news? Yes, I do. Okay. That call had to come in through a 911 line. So mm-hmm. if you were taking a call of all these shootings and all of this, you have to put yourself in the front runner of that, because it all starts with that 911 call. It all starts with that, and then it stems from that. So you're getting the ball rolling, and then everyone else, obviously is going to go in the direction, because you're dispatching. You're giving them the information of where direction someone took off running, or the car took off, or what section of the house someone is in, or the business or whatnot. So I think it's great to put it in the ways that you have to. You're here to build them and to teach them that, hey, you guys, you got this, and we're going to help you. And your center is, I just love that. So if you guys are hiring, or just go to the website and go to your
to
Crowley.
The city website. You can message us on Facebook. You can find me on the website. You can email, but you can go to the City of Crowley website and to our HR. That's where they have all of the openings. But it doesn't, just because we're not, let's say, we're fully staffed right at this moment.
At this moment in mid-July.
But however, things happen in people's lives, and like I said, people grow, they move on. Yeah. And so is it ever changing? It is. Yeah. So who knows? Could we have more positions come open? Could we have additional, who knows what the next year holds? So as things happen, just because we may not have an opening, you can always find my name on the website, on our Facebook page underneath the police department, or, on the website. The police department's portion of the website. So
go on the website and go to the Division of Police, and then you can find Nikki on there. And
math and words are hard some days.
You know what? It's okay. It's all good. They all get it. Hopefully they've listened to my podcast enough. They're like, this is typical. So it's all right. We're just having a nice chat, and we're just trying to educate everyone about the great career of 911.
I love it. I can't think of how many. I was trying to think this morning. I knew I was going to talk to you today.
You know I was going to drill you.
And I was like, how long have I been doing this? And I was like, I really can't remember.
It
and
gets
I'm like,
away from you, you know,
but
like
how
the time.
lucky am I that I don't know? Because
yeah, you're not counting it.
I'm not counting days to retirement or, you know. I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love where I do it. And that's what I'm really proud about, because it's both.
Yeah.
I love the industry. I love the changes that the industry's made. The fact that, in 2019, Texas, September 2019, we became first responders in Texas.
Right, yeah. They put the first responder. They gave them the
moniker.
title of first responder. So that was great, and we were the first state to do that.
State.
Yeah.
And so to me, I was like, okay, how awesome is it in my career, my time,
that happened?
That happened, and I went from remembering what consoles used to look like. And
you mean just a counter?
Yes, a counter, and it looked like fast food ordering type.
It did. If you even had a headset, most of it was the microphone sticking out of
and pedals on the floor,
the big huge buttons, and the almost like, I mean, not as bad as like the old phone operators of "Let me connect you," and not like that bad.
No, not that far back. But I can remember the handset used to have that padded phone thing on it, to where you could put it on your shoulder and rest on it while you typed. And I remember it had that.
The reel-to-reel recordings.
Yes, I remember that. And to see all of the changes, and now I just got done last week with a domestic violence victim. She didn't know how to use text in 911. So I told my dispatcher, I'm going to do a test. And I did a test on my phone, and I showed her, this is as easy as it gets. And I showed her, and she said, that's your people? I said, yes.
Yeah, so the text to 911, and we put this out. I put this out a lot on ours too. That it comes in just like it would if you were to dial in on a cell phone. You can actually get that information. We actually have a tab on our website that's for text to 911, and then I took live screenshots of what it looks like when you do that. Of course, only do that in emergencies.
We like it. Text to 911 is amazing, and it's a great part of technology. Just remember,
no pictures.
Please don't send pictures. We
won't
get
even
them.
let you. Yeah,
and we're not going to get them.
Audio.
The thing is that to text. If you think about the time you text, send, they have to type back, send. That volley of conversation you can do by voice much faster. Plus,
if it's safe to, like if you're in a situation,
now, if you can't. But if you are in a situation where you can call, please call, because we can hear the background noise. It's being recorded. And I always say what is recorded can and will be used in court. Yeah. So if you're in that type of situation, even if you had to leave that phone open and hide the phone, whatever it may be, because you're in danger, I can hear the background and I can keep my officers updated as to what's going on. By text, I'm only going off of the information that you are giving me.
Right. There's no background. There's no anything else. And if someone interrupts you, grabs your phone or something like that, you guys don't know if that happened, or the person was like, oh, I put my call in, I'm done now. So, that's why it's always important to keep communication on and to only hang up or disconnect when the dispatcher tells you it's okay. Because if you were to do that, the dispatcher doesn't know if you were just like, yep, I'm done. Or did someone just grab your phone from you? Are you safe? Or what's going on over here?
Exactly. We're sitting in a room. We can't see you. So the normal conversations like you and I are having, we can see each other.
Yeah, we can see each other.
We can hear what's going around us. But when you text, I know nothing other than what you tell me. And if you don't answer, I'm always going to go to I need to protect. I need to make sure you're okay.
It's like 911 hangups. If you accidentally dial 911, any city, anywhere in this country is going to call you back to make sure that everything is okay. And if they don't get a hold of you, they're going to find all the information they possibly can to send a unit out there to make sure that everything is okay.
And see, in our city, and this, again, it depends upon each city. They have their own policies, but our policy is we go.
Yeah.
We want to put our eyes on you, and that's because, I don't know, did someone tell you to tell us that everything's fine, it was just a misdial or a child playing on a phone? And it's easy to say that, but the one time we don't,
it could be something that's actually severe.
Yes.
And then this is the big stress with 911 is that they want to send out and stuff, but then there's like honest things like the whole emergency SOS thing of that everyone check your settings, you get your user manual out, go on your Apple website, go on your Samsung site, go on the Google Pixel site, and figure out if that is something, it's your decision to either have it turned on or turned off. But that has now kind of been a national thing where there's a lot of calls coming in because the emergency SOS gets activated because, you know, kudos to all these phone companies of like doing crash detection and all that stuff. But if you just are, let's say you're at what was it? I think it was Bonnaroo, and they were everybody was jamming and doing their thing. So if you're actually jamming and you toss your phone, that phone's gonna be like, oh, we got a live one here. We got an accident. we got to ring down. And so in that area where that concert outdoor event was thrown, that poor city got infiltrated with 911 calls because everyone's emergency SOS went off. So there are things like that, but you know, of course, you know, like Nikki said, the due diligence is there to make sure that there's contact, you know, with anyone that may call, and they want to be like, we want to make sure everything is good.
And nobody's in trouble. We're not saying that.
No,
and we're not
they're not
upset,
sending the SWAT team.
Job.
They're not sending the SWAT team.
No.
They're not doing any of that.
But that's our job. Our job is to make sure that you're okay. So we're going to make, you know, it's an emergency until it's determined otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With those 911 hangups, those 911 hangups can be those can be dangerous. So that's dangerous for everyone involved, really. Yeah. And so, but the texting, it's just important to know that it
takes time.
Takes some time. There is some time there, but it's the safest way to get a hold of emergency services if you don't want the bad person to see you doing that, especially now with all the shootings.
The shootings. And that's one thing, you know, a lot of people were not able to text until recently. And
until 2020 in Tarrant County.
Right. And
or since 2020, I should say that.
Some places still can't. Not in Tarrant County.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, maybe some real rural areas in Texas, but if you're listening and you're not in the Metroplex area, you can always contact your local police department and ask them. Worst case scenario, if you tried to text and it goes through, awesome. If they don't have text to 911, you'll get an automatic bounce back that says your area does not have text to 911. It will tell you that because that's what it used to say for ours prior to us having the text to 911. So always check if you can ahead of time. I'd hate for someone to find out during an emergency that they don't have it. But of course you have those chances where you may be traveling and you have no idea. So try to call if you can. But if you can't call, then text.
But you can always call anywhere in the United States. You call 911 if you're traveling, and you're going to get
in Canada and Mexico too.
Yeah.
I don't know about the texting, but I know that, because a lot of people didn't know that the 911 is for Canada and Mexico. I said I was at the grocery store the other day, and for some reason it came up. And so I said, someone said, calling, I don't think you can call it in 911 in different countries. And I go in Canada and Mexico, you can, but over in Europe, it's like something different.
What is it?
I have a picture when I went to Paris, I saw an ambulance and they had a number, but now I don't even remember what it was. I don't remember
what it is. Isn't that horrible?
No, because you don't live there.
No, I don't. Well, I don't even have a passport.
If anyone is listening to us from Paris, I'm honored because how did you find this podcast? So you must be really I've
always wanted to.
Want to go to Paris?
No.
Want to listen to my podcast?
I've done that.
Okay.
No, go to England.
Yeah, it's great. It's get a passport.
I don't even have one.
No, I said get a passport.
Yeah, I know, but when would I use it?
When you can take a vacation, they do give you benefits here at Crowley.
Oh no, I have very good benefits. I do. I just
you can go and venture to other places.
I venture with my dog, and
you can't take your dog to Paris,
no, I can't. And he's huge.
You can bring your dog back as an ascot.
Oh please!
Put it in a beret.
You haven't met my dog.
And some baguettes or something. I don't know. Which is true. They do. When I was over there, they walk everywhere, which is great. They're like the awesome. Most fit people ever. But they always have the bread. the huge bread. Like every time we were walking around and people were coming home from their work day or whatever, they would always have like some sort of flowers or something. And then there was always like a big, huge baguette, if that's the word, that's
the bread.
The bread. And I can't blame them because it's really good.
Well, if you walk that much, I guess it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you walk that much, yeah. Well, plus too, their portion sizes are smaller.
Well,
because we ate at a lot of restaurants, and we were doing like 10,000 steps a day, and I of course was starving because I was like, oh my God, we've been walking. I'm like, I need refuel. And we go to this one restaurant and they serve you order and they serve these like little sandwiches, and that was it. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be like that person. But I was like, do I do another round of this? Like,
I need more.
I need more. But it's just a different, culture and everything. I mean, I bet you they would just lose their head if they came to Texas and sat down at a steakhouse.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's half the cow.
Can you imagine me and my accent? I've been told I have a very Texan accent.
No, you do. You do.
I do.
Yeah. I think I still sound like Northerner a little bit. I've heard that. It's kind of dissipated.
It has.
Since I've started working here, because when I first
We've
moved,
infected you.
Yes. I've joined the dark side. But when I first moved here and I was dispatching, everyone heard it. Like the first time I got on the radio, like MDTs were like, all right, who's the Northerner and who's the Yankee on the thing? And I was like, oh, dang. I got to appreciate my Canadian relatives and lived here. The longer I lived here and then getting more involved in your talking or communicating, because you adjust to everything, weather included. Mm-hmm. And so then when I went back up to where I was from, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you sound Southern. Like you have this almost draw. And I was actually really proud of it. I was like, good, because that's my home. So yeah, so a little bit of a tangent there. So, if you've been to other countries, yay. And then you can also give tips to Nikki. So when you call Nikki or email her asking about jobs here and career paths here at Crowley Police Department, you should also maybe talk to her about getting a passport and to go traveling. And
I need to.
Go to Greece. I want to go to Greece.
See, Greece would be fun.
That's so
in the
amazing.
top 5.
What's the number 1?
Iceland.
Iceland. Okay. Now, you got to go to like Greenland to see ice, but you can go to Iceland to see green.
Yes. But I want to go there. I want to go there. I want to go to England, Greece, and there was...
I'd actually go to the south of Thailand is where I would... Yes, I think it's South Thailand. They have some of the most beautiful waters that are out there.
See, and I'd like to go to Scotland and England because that's where
that'd be great.
My ancestors supposedly.
Your heritage is over there. Oh, that's awesome.
I'm all the ishes.
Oh, nice.
Scottish, Irish, English,
wonderful,
Polish-ish.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, interesting little known fact.
So yeah, everybody write this down. Because wouldn't that be great if like there was someone listening and they apply and then you're just like, they're like, oh yeah, I've been here, and they start remembering.
And they say something in Polish. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know.
I know. You say something in Polish.
No, I don't know.
But then that they did their research because they listened to the podcast.
And that is a tip for anyone listening.
Yeah.
The one way to impress anybody in an interview is if I ask you, what do you know about the Crowley Police Department? At least be able to tell me what my chief's name is, because it's on the website.
Yeah.
Who's the mayor?
Do your homework.
That is amazing, and it tells me you care enough about my city to take out 5 minutes before you walk in and just put a couple things to your memory.
Do your homework, learn about things. I mean, we're giving you all the answers on this podcast, so hopefully...
I'm telling you, how to win an influence.
Just getting you right in there. So that is great. Well, Nikki, this has been a great chat. I love it. So we know you get good benefits here. So everyone, great benefits here at Crowley. They give you vacation time. So Nikki needs to use her vacation time and go get a passport and go travel. And then when you apply and you get promoted to supervisor, you'll be able to watch everything over while Nikki goes and enjoys her time in Greece and Poland and everywhere else where she wants to go.
I'm going to go.
You see where that goes, Nikki? You see, You just kind of pass the baton.
Oh, I will. One day, but not yet.
But not today. So, but at least you can go on vacation and then leave it in good hands.
I can go now. They're always after me.
Yeah. So it's like Allstate. You're in good hands. That's okay.
Here you are.
Yeah.
That I can promise you.
So follow Crowley Police Department on their Facebook and other social media platforms, and the City of Crowley also. And you can get a lot of great information, whether you're a citizen or you're looking to apply here for a position. The City of Crowley, I think it's .org. Are you .net or .org or .com? Anyway, if you Google City of Crowley, you'll be able to get that information. I said .org on someone else's website, and then I went back and it was actually like .com, and I was like, oh, I thought, okay. You know what?
We're different. Here's the other thing, though. When you Google, we're not Crowley, Louisiana.
Oh, right. Yeah, you be careful of that.
We get a lot of calls for Crowley, Louisiana.
But usually now Google is geo-specific to where you're at, so it'll pull up where you're at, like if you're in the if you're in the area. So Google City of Crowley, you'll get all the information. Find Nikki's name on there, scope her out, say, hey, I got some questions, I want to come in and talk with you and meet with you and everything like that.
And I'm only Nikki here, so they'll know how to get you to me, and we're more than happy to sit down and talk, and I'll answer your questions.
And now you can say, I need to talk with famous podcast Nikki. Can I talk to her? Oh, she's not taking any fans right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's so silly.
So anyway, thank you, Nikki, so much for spending your time this morning chatting with me. I really appreciate it, and what a great atmosphere you guys here have at Crowley. So y'all check out the website and see what positions are open that would work for you. Next week, I will be talking to another leader in 911 in our Tarrant County 911 district area. So I'll be looking forward to that. And until next time, have a fabulous week.